I've dedicated my life to real estate and serving my clients at the highest level when buying and selling a home. I'm committed to bringing you the most valuable content so that you're able to make the best decisions for all of your real estate needs. So get ready to learn and get the advice you've been looking for. Welcome to the Real Estate Insider.
What is up, you guys? It's Brandon, and we are in round 2 of the Battle of the Cities. And so I was doing this on Facebook Live. I got a lot of feedback that it was hard to kind of see the board. It was hard to hear me. And so I'm just doing this on camera as a recording, but I'm going to send this out on my YouTube channel. I'll send it out on all of the social media sites, so you will get the content that you have been asking for. So round 2. We are, tonight we're going to be matching up Rochester, not Rochester Hills, the city of Rochester versus Madison Heights. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into who has the hotter real estate market. Is it Rochester or is it Madison Heights? Let's find out. All right, so we're starting off with the number of new listings this time this year, 2017, versus last year in 2016. So this is the data from April, right? So remember, we want the number of new homes that are on the market as far as the real estate market continuing to get stronger and stronger to be down. So let's see where we end up. Okay, so Rochester in last April, they had 31 homes that came on the market. Versus this year in 2017, only 21 homes hit the market. So they're down 32%. So if we look at that as in comparison to Madison Heights last year, 2016, in April, had 59 homes that came onto the market. This year they had 42 homes that hit the market in April, which is a difference of 28%. So Rochester is going to get the point. They're down. They've got not much, but they've got a bigger decrease in inventory. So we're gonna go a point for Rochester. And so let me just put this up here too. So this is gonna be Rochester. This is going to be Madison Heights. Okay, abbreviation, you get the point. All right, so Rochester gets a point of number of new listings. All right, now we're gonna look at the number of sales. So these are homes that have hit the market. They got a buyer, the buyer got approved, and they closed on the sale of that transaction. All right, so number of closed sales in Rochester last April in 2016, there were 7. There were 7 sales. This year in April, there was 15. So they're up 114%. Now again, here's what's so crazy about this market. This is why home prices continue to rise. You have the number of homes that are on the market shrinking, the number of home sales increasing. It's like the perfect storm, right? So more homes are actually selling, but there are just less of them out there, creating this crazy hot seller's market. Hopefully that makes sense. So they had an increase of home sales, which we want. We want the number of sales to be increased, okay? So that they had an increase of 115%. Whereas Madison Heights, the number of closed sales in April 2016, they had 45 homes that sold. This year in April, they actually had less home sales of 29. So they had a drop in 35%. So a huge point here goes to Rochester. So far, Rochester is skunking Madison Heights, but let's see how we do. All right, days on market. So remember, like I said in last video in round 1, we want the days on market, meaning this. I got a lot of questions from you guys as it relates to days on market last time. Here's what this means. Days on market doesn't mean how long does it take the home to hit the market and close. It's how long did the house be on the market before there was a buyer that had an accepted offer, right? It takes 30 to 45 days typically to close on the sale of a home, but what we're talking about is how long does it take the home to hit the market, find a buyer, get an accepted offer. All right, so in Rochester, when we look at the days on market, here's what we got. So last year, April 2017, 90 days on average on the market. This year, 27 days. We're under 30 days in Rochester for homes to sell. That's a decrease of 70%. When we compare that to Madison Heights, we look at their average days on market last year being 30 versus this year being 19. So although they technically have less days on the market than Rochester has a bigger decrease. So we're just looking at year over year. That's how we're rating this. So another point for Rochester. Average sales price. So this is what's telling us how home prices are doing year over year. Last year, the average sales price in Rochester was $449,000. This year, the same area, the average was $344,000. So actually, they saw a 23% decrease. Now that doesn't mean that home prices went down or values went down in Rochester. That just means the homes that are actually selling in that month, the average wasn't as high as it was the year previously. Where when we look at average sales price in Madison Heights, they had an increase of 14%, bringing their average home sale price in April of 2017 to $122,000. So actually Madison Heights gets a point over here for average sales price. All right, percent of the list price accepted. Now, again, just to make sure that you guys are educated, that you know exactly what's happening in the market, what this means is if a house is listed at $100,000 and they get $90,000, right? That's a 90% of the list price that they got for an accepted offer. Make sense? Hope so. All right, so if we look at that, in Rochester last year they were getting 97.9% of the asking price. This year in April that actually went down to 96.8. Let's see, so last year for Madison Heights it was 98.3, this year was 97.5. So very, very close, but it looks like Madison Heights gets a point here because they're actually getting more of their asking price than Rochester. So it's all tied up, 2-2. Let's keep going. Number of homes available on the market. So inventory of homes on the market. Last year, this time last year in Madison Heights, there were 81 homes. This year there are only 27 homes to choose from. You keep hearing it in the news. There's such a lack of inventory. Well, this is very, very real. The numbers don't lie. So there's a 66% decrease in inventory in Madison Heights. In Rochester, last year there were 62 homes. This year there are only 40, right? So there are actually less homes available in Madison Heights, creating that seller's market. So they actually have less inventory available. So Madison Heights, believe it or not, gets another point, 3-2. Months worth of supply. So in Rochester right now, they have just over 3 months worth of supply. And Madison Heights has about 3.9% of inventory available. So Rochester, because they have less supply than actual Madison Heights, they get a point. So it all comes down to this, ladies and gentlemen. It all comes down to the nightlife. And I don't think there's going to be any argument with this at all. I can't believe that this was this close. I doubt there's going to be any argument here at all, but obviously downtown Rochester is a much more desirable place to be, to go out, to hang out, versus downtown Madison Heights. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give the point here to Rochester. So it's 5-3. Rochester wins tonight, and so Rochester is going to move on to round 3. So next week we're going to jump over here to White Lake versus Ferndale. Ferndale's extremely hot, so my money is on Ferndale, but let's see how that ends up. So thanks for watching Battle of the Cities. We're going to keep battling this thing down to see whose city in Oakland County has the hottest real estate market. So thanks for watching, you guys, and we'll talk to you guys real soon.